Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility, the show we do every Wednesday where we bring you some reviews of some cool new albums, or maybe not so cool new albums, that have come out in the worlds of hard rock, heavy metal, progressive rock, jazz, fusion, classic rock. That's kind of what we do here on the Sea. So today we're going to take a look actually at two albums, and these are not new. They've both been out for a few years by the same band. Their self-titled debut from 2018 and their follow-up from 2019. The reason why I'm covering them here is myself personally, have been recommended this band on numerous occasions over the last year or two. I mean, a ton of times. People saying, you gotta listen to this band, you gotta listen to this band. They're so good, they're so good. They used to be a Rush tribute band. Now they're doing all new material. Their albums are great. You gotta check them out. They're from Los Angeles. The band is called YYNOT, YYNOT, YYNOT. That's how I say it. Their self-titled debut from 2018, and then their album Resonance from 2019. All right, these are all self-produced, self-published, self-released, all that good stuff. The band is comprised of, or are comprised of, Billy Alexander. There's two guys, the main guys in the band. Billy Alexander, guitar player, also plays keyboards, backing vocals. He writes most of the songs, produces and mixes the albums. You got Tim Starachi on bass pedals and keyboards. You got Rocky Cooner, she's their singer, and Joel Stevenet on drums and percussion. And I do want to make sure that Joel plays on both of these albums. I believe, yeah, it's the same lineup for both albums, so it's the same four players. So like I said, 2018 was the self-titled debut. 2019 was the follow-up. Band formed in 2016, so they've been pretty busy. They mostly, early on, the guitarist and the bass player did a lot of Rush covers. That's what they were kind of known for. Then they decided, well, let's try some new material. So they bring in Rocky and on vocals, or maybe she was in the band before. I'm not really sure of the history here. But the first album, very, very much in the spirit of Rush. Okay. Now, what's interesting about this band, they've got some serious chops. I mean, Billy is a really good guitar player. He knows how to lay down some riffs. He's a pretty good soloist, although there's not a ton of solos on these albums. More so on this one than the second album. Tim is a terrific bass player. And his bass is up front in the mix. You can hear it. It's kind of very similar to Rush. We are always hearing that busy bass going on underneath or right alongside the guitar, mixed just about equally. I like that. I really like that a lot. It reminds me also of the early Iron Maiden stuff. We had Steve Harris, very busy and very high in the mix. And the drums are great. Okay, you got Joel, great drummer. And then you have Rocky Cooner, the vocalist. She has a lovely voice. A really nice voice. She's got more of like a pop style though. So especially on this album, well, this of the two albums, this is the heavier album. This is maybe the more progressive album, and this album really sounds more like Rush with a female singer. Although I've heard plenty of people say that Geddy always at times sounded like a woman, right? At times with the high pitched voice, but her vocal style, she sounds like this kind of reminds me of District 97, the great heavy prog band from the Chicago area, who play this ridiculously complex and bombastic style of prog rock / prog metal, and then you have this wonderful female singer who really is like a pop singer, right? So she adds this really interesting dynamic to this music that's like almost like it doesn't fit, but it does. I get the same impression here. I find, though, that I really like Rocky on this album more on the first album, and I'll tell you why. Because I think she seems to be singing with a little more grit on this album. And while, like I said, her voice seems perfectly suited for music not like this at all, I think she dials it up a little bit and really tries to kind of keep up with the music. Because the music is fairly heavy on this album. And, especially as you get to the latter part, the back part, I mean, Kingdom Come is a great, great track. Another Trip Around the Sun. Run on Love is a nice, heavy song. Reminds me of, like, Rush circa, like, 2112. and Hemisphere's Farewell to Kings era Rush, right? And she's got a little bit of grit on that song, which I think works really well. And then you've got the instrumental, which closes out the album, which is called YYNOT or YYNOT, however they choose to say it. And it is just this great instrumental that seems to my ears to take little bits and themes from various Rush classics and kind of spin it in a blender, and out it comes. It's really well done. There's going to be some kind of traditionalists who are going to be like, that's trying to sound a little bit too much like Rush, but it's so well done. And the guitar work and the bass work and the drumming is just absolutely superb. It's just like basically take like YYZ and La Villa Strangiato and a couple other things and throw it in a blender and poop, out you go, right? So, and I like the production on these albums are really good. So I really like the debut a lot. Resonance, on the other hand, which is the second album, I don't love. I like the production. I like everything sounds really good. The guitars are nice and crisp. I find there's like there's not a lot of guitar solos on this album. I keep wanting more solos from the guys, but it's like they've purposefully tried, to my ears, to move away from the Rush style to do something that's wholly their own, and I get that and I appreciate that. But here's where I have additional issues. So I find Rocky's vocals on this album really don't match the music. She's a great singer. I like her a lot. But it's almost to me like you've got you're pushing Roxette and Rush together and trying to come up with something a little different. And it kind of doesn't work for me in spots. Her voice just seems like a little bit too laid back and poppy and almost jazzy for this type of music, which here, it's not really prog. I wouldn't call it metal. It's just good commercial sounding hard rock, a lot of sheen to it, good guitar riffs. The bass is there. The drum work is excellent. Some really great songs on here. Synergos is quite good. That starts off the album. Okay, that's mostly instrumental. We're all instrumental. Bully is a good song. Again, I think they got some really good lyrics going on here. Chemical Burn I like quite a bit. Precious Time is the last song, and that's good. It's got a good hook, right? Again, most of the elements I like. I just don't know if they all go well together. And I'm listening to this, and I'm like, I like her voice a lot, but I'm almost wondering, I find myself listening to it thinking, well, what would it sound like with a more aggressive female singer or just a guy singing? And that's kind of my problem. And I guess I probably need to, again, because I think it works on this album because she changes things up a little bit. Whereas here, I think they're really going for, let's try and write accessible, just poppy, hard rock music. And I get it. I just think that her voice is not quite matching up with the music for me. But I like her. I would almost really like to hear her in a different context. Like I said, this is the exact same thing that I've said with District 97. When I heard Leslie Hunt's solo album recently, where it's totally not prog or metal, right? It's just her doing like kind of pop stuff and atmospheric rock. It's absolutely amazing. It's lovely. She's great in District 97 too, but at times it clashes a little bit for me. And that's kind of what I'm getting here. I think Rocky is just kind of, from my ears, she's clashing a little bit with everything else that's going on here. And I'm not sure it works for me 100%. But it's just me. So I would urge everybody to go and give this band a try because I think enough really works well on these albums. And they're kind of hard to find. I was able to get these, but they're fairly pricey. But I'll probably drop their Bandcamp link down below. Definitely check them out. Instrumentally speaking, I mean, musically, this is really happening stuff. These guys are superb musicians. This is tight, rock solid stuff. Just really good hard rock music. It's all going to be dependent on how you think her lovely vocals fit with the music, right? But I think enough people are going to like it. So it's definitely refreshing. It's something different. It's still working its way through my ears, right? This is taking a little while. I've had these for a while now. And at first I really wasn't crazy about them. And I keep listening to them. I'm like, you know what, man, I really love it musically. I really like her vocals. I'm trying to figure out if it works together for me. So we'll see. Jury's still out, but I think both of them, I like this one better. This is the debut. This to me is a good 4 out of 5 stars. Really professional sounding. This one I'm still on the fence about. This is either 3 or 3.5 out of 5. I'm not really sure yet. I like it. I don't love it, but together they're pretty cool. So check them out. YYNOT or YYNOT. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. I think I would assume these guys probably have something else in the works at some point, right? I know COVID kind of came right after they put the second album out, so we'll see where that all goes. But thanks for watching. Check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. But we're here all the time on YouTube. Please click that notification bell so you get advised and alerted of all of our content. We also have the link to our Ko-Fi page below for channel donations, as well as the link to our merch page for all sorts of cool Sea of Tranquility stuff. So thanks for watching, everybody. Check them out. YYNOT. I am Pete Pardo. See you real soon. Bye-bye.